Hey, yo, what is going on? We're once again, ladies and gentlemen, bros, women, fanboys, and fangirls. And of course, as always, on top of Zinky Kamui's others, the one, the only, of course, Mr. Nintendo Sony Free 2011, aka Mania Wolverine. Of course, you guys are wrestling intros, non sources channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, all that good stuff. And about a day ago, or probably 2 days, depending on when you're watching this video, but Sony PS1, holy shit, it's coming back as a mini. And I know a shit ton of people had one or two thoughts in their mind that was going through their head, unless you were like me. So that one, they obviously copied off Nintendo's NES and SNES mini, or SNES, if you want to be more specific with it. That, or number two, Sony's kind of being a little bit cheap with their products if they're just putting 20 fucking games just into one of their mini consoles. This is like 45% smaller compared to the original PS1. This is coming from someone that grew up in the 90s when I was a kid at the time. That this is probably the second console I ever had besides SNES. Because it was that one first, and my second one was on PS1, and the third one, I don't know if it counts as a console, but it was on Game Boy Color and then Advance after that. And I didn't get PS2 until like 2004, years later. Like about maybe 2.5 years before PS3 came out. So I was real late in that bandwagon, but I know a couple of my friends that did have that as well at the time. And a couple of the games I heard that came out for this one, there's a little mini retro, mini like small little unfortunately, it's going to be very It's going to be very vulnerable towards scalpers. They're going to be hunting the shit out of these things and probably overpricing it to like $600-700 instead of like $100, which I feel like, in my opinion, it's a little bit of a bullshit fucking excuse for it. It should have been like maybe $30-40 instead of $100. That's way fucking overdoing it, man. My own personal opinion. So I got this news from TechCrunch. I usually read them like once or twice back in the days, like 2011, 2012, a couple of years ago. But this comes from Taylor Hartman, or Hackman, however you say that name. It was 4 days ago. I thought it was 2 days. Never mind. So it says Sony announces the PlayStation Classic, its own mini retro console. Links to the video down below where I got this information as well. So it says, and to the website too, and a little Twitter, their official Twitter handle, if you want to read it yourself. It says, if you're the kind of person who has two beers and regularly launches into the same 20-minute long ode to the original PlayStation for playing a seminal role, I guess that's how you say it, roll into the maturation, I think that's how you say it, maturation of gaming as an art form. Well, we do have some news for you. Do we have some news for you? Sony just announced its intentions to give up the PlayStation the winning Nintendo Classic treatment with a tiny 2-scale version of the PS1 called PlayStation Classic. The teeniest newest console is scheduled to hit shelves December 3rd, retailing for $99.99. That's pretty much under $1, so I'm a little pissed off that they did that shit, but whatever. So it says, like Nintendo's widely popular SNES and NES classics that have paved the way. And I know Sega did that same thing too with like the Sega Mini. I didn't really get to cover too much news information on that, so yeah. I think the reason it was because I didn't grow up that much with Sega, but I did grow up with Sega Genesis and like the Sega Saturn. Not Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast, a little bit here and there. But let's move on. So it says NES, SNES, and NES Classic that paved the way. Sony PlayStation Classic will come preloaded with a catch of well-loved games. The Sony PlayStation Classic lineups will feature 20 classic games, including Final Fantasy VII. Editor's note: hell yeah. Not for me. For me, that's hell no. All right, let's move on. Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer Type 4, Tekken 3, and Wilder. Those are the two that really stuck out to me. Hopefully, they got Tomb Raider in this bitch too, because that was my jam. Lara Croft was probably one of the fucking most badass chicks in the late 90s as far as females go. Not how it is with bullshit feminism and microaggressors, all that far right and all that fucking bullshit. It's way before that shit even existed. That was awesomer times though. And I'm really hoping they put Bust a Move and freaking old school like Ready to Rumble 1 and 2. That'd be really cool if they had that on here. Hell yes. And it's crazy. I'll tell you in a minute how I found this information besides that news article and the YouTuber that usually talks about a lot of like video gaming news. I'll tell you that in a minute. So it says, quote, almost 25 years ago, the original PlayStation was introduced to the world. Developed by Sony Computer Entertainment. Alright, so it says it was the first home console in the video game history to ship 100 million units of units worldwide, offering customers a chance to play games with real-time 3D rendering graphics in their homes for the first time. They're actually polygon, like 3D games at the time. They kind of messed up on there. So Sony said, waxing nostalgia in a box, post announcing the console. We're here for it. And it goes on to say, from the corporate heads of themselves, it says, longtime fans will appreciate the nostalgia that comes with the rediscovering the games that they know and love, while gamers who might be new to the platform can enjoy the groundbreaking PlayStation console experience that has started it all. According to Sony, the new Mini will be 45% smaller than the real PlayStation, complete with smaller controllers that also mimic their forebears. Each unit will ship with the HDMI and USB cable and 2 controllers for couch multiplayer. What the hell is couch multiplayer mean? Is that couch potato? I don't know. Let's move on. The consoles will be available to pre-order at some retailers in Canada and the US, and more details including 15 other games, so keep an eye out for it. Sony will be sharing more details in the next month or two. All games will, quote, will be playable in their original format, unquote, so expect them to look and feel just as they did in the Dark Ages. That's a little bit pushing in there. I know they're sounding like a little bit of a sarcasm, fucking being a little bit of a fucking asshole. I don't know, I'm just saying. Let's move forward. When things were simple and good, most of us can agree that this particular nostalgia baiting tactic is awesome. Taking our money, but have you seen this thing? It's extra cute. Maybe it's because the PS1 has those iconic circular buttons that echoed the game. Its game and disc rough and round things are cute like Kirby and Toad and the other hand is over. If you spent significant time marveling over the PS1 and was made waves in 1995, I thought it was 96. I don't know. Because I was 7 when I first got my first PS1, after I was 6 when I got my first SNES. I'm always going to be a bigger Nintendo fan than I will a Sony fan, I'm just saying. YouTube will likely retain hopefully I'm saying this word right, pro-precipitative, I think that's how you say it, pro-precipitative kind of intimacy with its then cutting-edge form. Do you remember precisely how much... Hold on. There we go. How much give the buttons had when you depressed them? How the disc hood yawned open gracefully and suspensefully. Of course you do. Sure, we give the 5 years of our actual lives to this with a few months or more. And I guess that's it. So yeah, overall thoughts, views, and opinions. Oh, the other way that I found out about this news, besides this other YouTuber, I'll put the link to his video in the description box below, and he was talking about it. He was real mind-blown. He said, there's not going to be 1 controller, there's 2. That's one thing that Nintendo, the NES Mini, didn't fucking come with. They only came with 1 controller. It didn't come with 2. So unfortunately, Nintendo screwed the pooch on that a little bit. Let's get on to a little bit of a rant commentary, though. This is what pissed me the fuck off about it. Is that number 1, this thing is almost $100, and then number 2, it's not going to be like the old school way where you could just like put it in like the old school original, like old school 2 TV. Some of my younger subscribers have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Just Google it if you want to. Because I remember when I was a 90s kid, a lot of the old school stuff, like, I really wish it would have said something like about Abe's Odd World. That one was a really good one. Bust Move 2, Cool Borders 1, 2, 3, and 4. And another really one I was real big into besides Spyro and Crash, obviously, was, and besides Rayman, was Gex the Gecko. They would have brought that one and Klana back and Parappa the Rapper. I would have been fucking sold on this shit immediately. But they didn't say nothing about that. And hopefully, I'm fingers fucking crossed that it does come with those games. Because if it doesn't, some people are probably going to end up having like fake emulators or just going to fake like hacking websites out there. They're just going to like put those old school PS1 games and put it into this little box right here. This beautiful, sexy piece of fucking technology there. Sounds weird for me to say that, but it is. Let me get a drink real quick. Oh, I actually found this through my local news that they were talking about it. And the way they say Tekken 3, that one almost halfway sold me a little bit. They would have a couple more fighter games in there and a lot more platformer games. And a shit ton more of original old school RPG games or even fighter games. Even a lot of the sports games like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. That was first introduced to this thing too, so I'm hoping that this comes with the old school one. And like one of my roommates was there and he was like, oh, this is going to be the greatest thing in the world. I'm totally pre-ordering this. And I would have said, yeah, me too, but I was like, nah, not me. I'm just going to wait until we get a little bit more extra information. I'm going to hold back my $100 I usually bust my ass for at work. Actually, no, it's usually 18, 19 bucks an hour I get at work, but every week. But it is what it is. I still got to pay with bills and taxes and all that stuff. But anyways, that's all I got to say for now. Yeah, the way they said Tekken 3, they said Taken 3, like the Liam Neeson movie Taken 3. I was thinking, what the hell? What? This person is way out of touch with video games. And then she was like 45, 47 years old, so she probably has no idea what the gaming industry was like way back then compared to now. And that's all I got to say, and I'm out. And another way I found out about this, Twitter was blowing the fuck up. This thing was like trending on fucking Twitter, so you know this is a big ass deal for old school gamers such as myself and a lot of other people in their late 20s, early mid 30s. And that's it. Links in the description box down below to both of the videos that I talked about, and link to the Twitter as well. If any people are wondering where I got this information from as well, TechCrunch, shout out to them, and that's it. Peace out once again, ladies and gentlemen, bros, women, fanboys, and fangirls, and of course, as always, we'll talk as Nikki commodities out there. I will see you when I see you guys. Good day, have a good night, wherever you're at around the world out there. Don't drink my way to the same time. Don't take reckless. Keep it calm. Keep it cool. Keep it chill. Keep it collective out there. Stay tuned for more future content on this channel. And article session reviews, including video gaming industry news, anime manga news, and internet news. And that's it. Take it easy. Stay safe. Peace out. I'm like sauerkraut. I'm gone and getting out of here. Lates, goodbye. We'll see you on the flip side. Take it easy. Lates, goodbye. I'm gone. And I'll see you guys on the next future video. I'm out and see you soon. Laters.